Hello and welcome to another video. Today we're going to take a look at some team suggestions for the upcoming Go Battle League meta, the Retro Cup. The Retro Cup is just like Open Great League, only you can't use Steel, Dark or Fairy type Pokemon, changing the landscape of what is good and viable by quite a lot. For example, sending a Pokemon like Auroras all the way up to second on the rankings due to it no longer being walled by Steel types. Therefore, the first team we're going to take a look at is a team trying to set up Auroras for the sweep, using either Lickitung or an Ice type to lure out the fighter so that Deoxys can deal with it, and so that Auroras doesn't have to see it. Auroras does have more weaknesses than just fighting. It is a Pokemon that's very difficult to team build around because of all its different weaknesses, but if you're starting to see a lot of especially waters and fighters, this team might struggle. But if the waters you are seeing are mud boys, you can exchange Auroras for Walrein potentially. Maybe use the Medicham Lickitung Walrein team that I saw a lot of people use last time Retro Cup was around to a lot of success as well. The second team is a very simple ABB team. With Fairy and Steel types not allowed, Dragons will inevitably rise at least at times during this meta. It's about using this team at the right time where people aren't using as many Ice types. You can use either Regirock or Lickitung on the lead. I think these are the best two options because you need something good against Rock and Ice types. And then you can use Shadow Dragonite to lure out the potential Rock/Ice type so Altaria can sweep in the back. This team works pretty well if there is an Ice/Rock type in the back. Of course, if they have two, it's very tough, but if there's only one, it's pretty good. If there's not an Ice/Rock type in the back, you can just give 2 shields to Shadow Dragonite. It's gonna melt through like 2/3 of that team, and then Altaria is gonna melt through the rest of the team because nothing in this meta resists Dragon Breath damage. The third team is a bit of a powerhouse team in my opinion, putting together 3 of the best Pokemon in the meta, trying to create okay cores around them. As I said in the beginning, Auroras is very difficult to team build around because it's weak to fighting, Lantern, Jellicent, Swampert. It's very difficult to create a perfect core with it. Altaria is pretty good and Cresselia is also okay, although Jellicent is a bit of a problem, even though Cresselia actually has alright play against Jellicent. This is just 3 of the best Pokemon and you're going to be able to overpower a lot of teams, I think, with this team. And you're going to be able to have responses to a lot of things with it as well. So I think it's going to be able to work very well, although it is not the most balanced team in the world. The next team is a team that I'm very much looking forward to trying out. Dunsparce is a genuinely amazing lead. It picks up a lot of good leads. Obviously it's very weak to fighting and it also struggles with mud boys, but it picks up a lot of good leads. And with this backline you're going to be able to have good responses to a lot of save swaps. And also Frostlass up energy and as a save swap is very strong, and it can also lure out a potential Lantern, which gives a lot more play to Jellicent. And as you've seen by my teams so far, I'm very good at building teams that are weak to Jellicent, kind of ignoring it a little bit. Maybe other people are too. Double will be a serious problem against this team, of course, but I'm not expecting a lot of people to use Double, so I think it's okay. First, I'm saying that I'm not expecting to see a lot of Double, and now I'm recommending a team with Double, I know. But I think Toxapex is another Pokemon that's going to benefit greatly from the lack of Steel types. Obviously, there aren't as many targets due to the lack of Fairy types as well, but what really holds Toxapex back in the Open Great League is the possibility to run into a Steel type, which is just a really bad matchup. But Toxapex is one of those Pokemon where even in like bad matchups, it's still going to be able to do alright as long as it's not like against the Registeel. Even against Ghost types, it does alright. And with 2 normal types behind it, obviously you can't use double dark or anything like that, but double normal should work just as well. This team is just 3 very bulky Pokemon, very balanced team, because the core breakers, I would be very surprised if these core breakers are not very rare. So I think this team is going to work very well. If you're seeing a lot of Noctowl/Pidgeot, I think Double is going to be the better save swap. If you're seeing a lot of Medicham, I think Lickitung is going to be the better save swap. But both of these should work pretty well as save swaps. And then again, just outbulk the opponents. The next team is another ABB team, and a team that I've seen some people have a lot of success with in the Open Great League. So I thought, why not bring it into the Retro Cup? It is allowed, and it should still work pretty well. Although I think these core breakers that you're seeing on the right might be a little bit more common in the Retro Cup than they are in the Open Great League, which should make this team a little bit more difficult to run. If you run into a Jellicent or a Pelipper on the lead, I would recommend swapping into Noctowl and then trying to set up Shadow Charizard with some sort of advantage. Although I think overcoming these core breakers on the lead might be quite difficult. You can also run Dunsparce on the lead. I didn't include it on the graph, but I think that might actually be even better. It really depends on what you're seeing a lot. It shouldn't give you these types of core breakers because Dunsparce can beat all 3 of them, but it will make you obviously more weak to some other things, although I think it might be more balanced. The next team is a bit more on the fun side, I think, mainly because I'm not sure how good Mudboys are going to be in this meta, but it's an ABB team where you use Quagsire to lure out the Mudboy counter, mainly the grass type, so that Swampert doesn't have to see it, and then you can try and sweep with Swampert in the end. I think it would be a lot more fun to use Pidgeot as the lead, because then you can just go straight for the Brave Bird, dip into Quagsire, bring back in the Pidgeot, go straight for the Brave Bird, then pivot back out into Swampert and clear your debuffs that way. But Noctowl does give you a little bit more bulk and a little bit more flexibility. I think it has better coverage overall. And I think with Shadow Swampert as the closer, having more bulk generally on the team is better. But Pidgeot might be more fun. This team might struggle quite a lot to counter swap onto save swaps. I don't think you have a lot of good response because both Swampert and Quagsire have quite similar coverage. So that might be a bit of a problem with this team as well. The final team is a bit of a meme team. Triple Dragon Breath. The idea behind this is great because nothing resists Dragon Breath damage in this entire meta. So you're going to be able to do at least neutral to everything. The problems with this team, and there are a few, are that these 3 Pokemon are all very similar. So you're very rarely going to have a good response to a save swap Pokemon. So you're very often going to have to chip and then dip into something else, most likely Kingdra. And against very bulky teams, if you find yourself in very neutral matchups, you will simply just get out-bulked with this team. So yeah, I don't think this is the best team, but it might be quite fun to try out. Also, you need Gyarados and Kingdra specifically, because otherwise you would simply be too weak to ice. And these 2 do have resistances to ice in the water types. So yeah, I think it would be fun, but not the best team in the world. I am once again going to give a big shout out to Yongo Sean Pogo for putting this all together. I am the one making the teams, but he is the one making it look nice. And you can find this graph plus another graph with 10 more teams, I think, plus another graph with all the relevant move counts for this meta, plus future metas in Go Battle League on his Twitter. Link in the description. I would definitely recommend giving him a follow. That is the end of this video, but I just want to give you your fun fact of the day, and that is that Aurorus wins the 2 shields versus Jellicent straight Meteor Beam, as in without having to bait, with only 2 Powder Snows advantage. If they shield the first 2 Meteor Beams, you will be able to outpace to 3 Meteor Beams before they get to the 4 serves they need in the 2 shield scenario, because you can live 1 serve. If they no shield the first Meteor Beam, you can start going straight Weather Ball, because you only need to land 1 more Weather Ball, in which case you can still outpace to 3 Weather Balls plus that Meteor Beam you landed before they get to the 4 serves. So you will be able to win this no matter what. Other than that, if you like what you see or feel like you learned something or like these types of videos in general, then like, and also if you're new, subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time.